Ho, ho, ho. How's everybody doing? It's Tyler from Service, and today I got a video to show you guys. I'm really excited about it. Today we're going to be talking about this new thing called Apple Business Manager, and also how we're going to use Apple Business Manager to actually enroll our MacBooks into it so we can have control over it, and we can prevent that activation lock that we're all running into that is literally eating up our sales and is giving us, pending sales problems and everything else. So we're going to fix this up, and I promise this is going to help you guys in the long run. Also, the second part of this video, I'm going to show you guys how to restore a MacBook. I've never done a video over it that way, so it's going to be a good experience for you guys to see it, hands-on and what to do, and I hope this will help you out. Let's get started. All right, so what exactly does Apple Business Manager do? Apple Business Manager basically lets us have, provision over all the MacBooks that we put into it. So that means that we can actually control it. We can remotely wipe it. We can actually turn off certain services. For example, like Siri, we can turn off Siri. It's so awesome. So basically this is going to help us out because in most cases, a customer will return a MacBook and it'll have their information still on there, and we don't actually get their information, and then it's locked to their name. And then that results in us having to send that MacBook to Apple to be unlocked. But once we roll these into Business Manager, we won't have that problem. We can turn the activation lock off. So if, for example, if this MacBook right here is enrolled in Business Manager, and we see that it's enrolled in Business Manager, we can wipe it, and there's no chance of it being locked. So actually, I'm going to show you today what we're working with, and I got 4 Macs here, and I hope you will get the idea of how all this works. So let's go. All right, guys, so once that MacBook gets sent to me in service, I will go ahead and restore it fully and update the OS to the newest version. Now, as you can see, we have a screen here that says assign this Mac to an organization, which is okay. Basically, this is what I would use to assign it to our Business Manager account. I would scan this little blue rotating sphere here. You would also see this like on the Apple Watch. So once I scan it, I'll get a notification that's been moved over to our Business Manager. And then it would show up here. This is our profile manager, and this is where we can actually run commands that would take place on the MacBook that we have assigned to our organization. From here, we can wipe the device. Let's say the customer doesn't want to give us our info, but this is enrolled in our profile manager. I would basically wipe the device. It would remove all the customer's information, and then it also would prevent it from being Apple locked, which is what we're trying to prevent here. So real quick, I'm just going to show you a quick command and show you how fast it works. So I'm just going to go down here to my little gear symbol. And then as you can see, we have some options here. I'm just going to go ahead and restart it, okay? So I click restart device here. All right, so it takes a second. Then as we watch here, the MacBook on the right should reset. It's already been enrolled to the MDM profile, so I just got the screen pulled up to show you exactly what we're working with. And there you go. See, as you can see, it just restarted. So basically imagine if this MacBook's at your store and we're doing this from here. We can totally wipe it, and it doesn't ever have to come to us. And then basically from the store, you guys would just go ahead and reinstall the OS yourself. And if you don't know how to do that, I will be showing you how to do that at the end of the video. So it's a pretty cool feature. This MacBook's going to boot back up to the setup because it's already ready to go. Now, once I enroll it in Business Manager and I write it back out to you on a service ticket, I'm going to use this in Erlanger unit, okay? It says basically restored, enrolled in Business Manager, can ever be Apple locked again. All right, and then for the final step, guys, let's say that we have this enrolled in Business Manager now, which we do, and let's say you rent it to a customer, and within a week, they, return it to you and they don't give us your info. Basically, you would give us a call, and you would say, hey, I have this MacBook here. I want to check and see if it's in Business Manager and see if we can remotely wipe it. If it is, no big deal. We will go to our command over here and we'll wipe it. And basically it'll, erase everything. And then from that point at the store, you guys would do the recovery process that reinstalls the OS here. And then once you do that, you would go through the setup. And then once you connected this thing to the internet, it would ask for some special credentials that basically pulls our profile that we have saved in our profile manager to this MacBook. I will provide you with those credentials as people call and ask for them. But until then, I'm not going to post them. But please be on the lookout. If you run into that screen, it's basically just going to say remote management. This is owned by Countryside Rentals. Please enter your credentials. We'll enter our credentials, and then boom, it keeps the MacBook in our our Business Manager account as well. Okay, so another question that I've been asked a lot is when we order new MacBooks. So let's say, Tyler Yoakum and Heather, as awesome as they are, they order a bunch of MacBooks, okay? Those are going to come to me first, so I can go ahead and enroll them into Business Manager, and then basically we will just put them out in your guys' service square, and you'll get them that way. That prevents you guys from having to worry about that. I will take care of that process way before you even get them, and then they'll already be enrolled. So we might put a little sticky note right there on the box that says enrolled, just so you know. Before you go to rent it. But the biggest thing is once these are paid off fully, we will release them from our Business Manager account, so the customer can do as they please with it. As long as they fully pay out the unit, we will release it from Business Manager and keep our promise to the customer as well. So now I'm moving on to the second part of the video where I'm going to show you how to restore MacBooks. So let's get started. All right, so as you guys probably already know, we have some different model MacBooks here, and every model is usually different on how you actually get to the recovery or how you reinstall the OS. So we're going to start with this one first. So as you all know, if you don't, the way to get into recovery, you're going to hold down the Command, the Option key, the letter R, all at the same time while you turn the computer on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys something real quick. I'm going to have to get somebody to help me, but I'm going to hold down those keys and I'm going to show you what's going to happen. So I actually don't need any help with this part, so I'm just going to hit the power button, and then I'm going to hold down Command Option R. So boom, Command Option R, just like that, and we're going to hold. And as you can see, we're not getting any internet recovery thing to pop up. It just loads up this way. So you might try this 40 times before you realize that this MacBook does not get to the recovery that way. This might be one of those other models. So I'm going to show you the other way to get to recovery if Command Option R does not work. All right, so if we can't get into recovery that way, we're going to try this other way. It involves hitting the power button for a short press one time and then holding the power button. So basically on the screen, it's going to say continue holding for startup options. So I'm just going to press the power button one time, and then I'm going to hold it down again, and I'm going to continue holding. So if there's once turned on, hold. And we're going to hold, we're going to hold. And as you can see, it says continue holding for startup options. So I'm going to hold, I'm going to hold, I'm going to hold, and then it says loading starting up options. So you can take your finger off at that moment. So now if we wait a few seconds, it's going to pull up, a little gear symbol that says options below it. And once it does, we will go ahead and click the options gear, and then we'll click continue. This is actually one of the easier ways to get in recovery. I wish they were all like this, but they are actually not. Now I want to show you the actual old school way of getting to recovery on this Mac over here. So give me 1 second to start with that, and you'll see what I'm talking about. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit the power button, and then I'm going to hold down Command Option and R, and you're going to see that internet recovery pop up. So power button, Command Option R. Okay, as you see, I'm holding the key. It's a weird finger combination, but once you hold, you wait for a few seconds, and then boom, there's the internet recovery symbol that we want. So from this point on, you would go ahead and connect to your Wi-Fi that you guys have at your store. So I'm gonna go ahead and connect to ours real quick, and then once this gets done loading, okay, you will actually come up to this exact same screen here. If you don't come up to this screen, it will basically pull up a screen with the customer's username. And basically from there, you would select the user, and then it's going to ask for their password. Basically having the password releases the lock from the computer. So you will need the password to the MacBook. I promise you, you will need that. But once you get to that screen, you'll just go ahead and type in their password, and then it will go to the macOS utilities, which I will show you on this. All right, so once you enter that customer's password to their account, it's going to take you to this screen right here. These are the macOS utilities. As you can see, there's 4 of them that we can use, but from here, we're going to focus on this bottom option that says Disk Utility. So go ahead and select it, and then click Continue. All right, so then it's going to pull up the Disk Utility window. This can scare a lot of people, okay? But most of the time, you're going to see it look like this. Okay, and then on the left side where it says Untitled here under the internal drives, it's going to say Macintosh HD. And the only reason why this one says Untitled is because we've already wiped off the information I already have. But there's still some data on here. So what we're going to do from here, we're going to go to this little drop-down box up here where it says View, and then we're going to click Show All Devices. All right, so as you can see on the left side, we have more options to choose from. So basically you have the Apple SSD, which is the actual hard drive inside the Mac. And then we have partitions of that hard drive, such as Container Disk 3 and Untitled. All right, so let's say you select the Apple SSD. The original way you would do this is you would select the Apple SSD, and then you would click the erase option, and then it would basically wipe all those out. But as you can see, we have some red here, which basically means that it's not formatted correctly, and we can't do it that way. So basically, you would come down here to where it would say Macintosh HD or Untitled as today. Once you select it, you'll come over here to the erase option. And basically it's going to ask us to rename it. So we're going to rename it Macintosh space capital H capital D, spelled just like that. Once you spell it out like that, just double check that you got everything right. And then we're just going to leave that bottom format as APFS always. Okay. And then let's go ahead and click erase. And then as we wait here, it's going to go ahead and wipe all the data off that partition of that hard drive, and we're all set. So once you get that green check mark and it says erase is complete, go ahead and click done. All right, you have nothing else to do here. Just make sure it says Macintosh HD on the left side there. Now, if that, for example, the default way you should do it is always select the Apple SSD and go ahead and erase it. And then you can do it that way. But if that doesn't work, go ahead and just select the Macintosh HD or whatever it is over here on the left side and just restore it that way. Erase it that way, I'm sorry. But once we're done with that, we'll click the little red X in the top left-hand corner here to close out this window. All right, so now we're ready to reinstall the Mac OS. The biggest thing you need to make sure of before you do that is that in the top right-hand corner, it still shows you're connected to your store Wi-Fi. We're good up there, so we're gonna go ahead and click the second option here. And it's reinstall Mac OS Big Sur, which is not actually the highest OS, but it'll do for now. So we'll click continue. And basically it's gonna pop up and ask you to hit continue down here to start the install. This part always scares people. It will lag. It will take a second to load this up. So don't be afraid if it literally takes a minute or two to go from this screen to the next. So then it's going to ask us to agree to the terms. So we're going to agree, and I'm going to agree again. All right, so now you can see that we have the partition we made earlier called Macintosh HD. As you can see, it has 245 gigabytes total, 244.97 are available. Fully clean drive. So we're going to select it, and then we're going to click continue. All right, so it's telling me now this computer is not connected to a power source. Always plug it in before you restore it, because you do not want this to die while it's in the middle of the restore process. It'll mess it up. So just go ahead and plug it into a charger to be safe. So I'm gonna go ahead and click cancel here because this one's already ready to go. But basically it's telling me that it will not do the restore unless I'm plugged into a power source. So make sure you're plugged in. Once you're plugged in to a power source and you start the restore, it'll give an estimated time of how long it's going to take. All you have to do is let it sit there and do its thing. And then once it's done, it'll boot up, and it'll boot up to the setup screen just like this. All right, guys, and that concludes on how you restore a MacBook back to its factory settings. So I hope this video helps you. Now, one thing I want to talk about, let's really work on getting these MacBooks to me so I can enroll them in Business Manager. Like I said, once they're enrolled in Business Manager, if you have one that comes back from a customer that doesn't want to give up their info to you, just go ahead and give me a call. I'll look and see if the serial number is in Business Manager, and then I'll remotely wipe the device from Service Shop. And then basically what will happen is it'll wipe all the user information off, and then you guys will just restore it as normal like I just showed you in the video. If you have any questions at all or get stuck or anything, please reach out to me. I'm available all the time to help you guys out, and hopefully this will fix our activation lock problem. And I hope you guys have a great Christmas and enjoy the holidays.